Hello, everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is Tuesday, April 9th. I'm your host, Bree Cox Kennedy. We've got a great lineup on the show today. We have Pacific Financial Planners with Jerry Schlutzwitz, who's going to be helping us demystify investment options. And later in the show, we've got Old Pros with Barbara Torino and Paul Lampert. They're going to be telling us about their production of auditions. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, folks, we want to keep you informed. We need to pick up the clip. One of the great services provided by VMS, this one's landscaping services, is the weekly garden clipping pickup. Simply email residentservices at vmsinc.org. Or you can call 949-597-4600 anytime before noon on Thursday. Provide your address and your garden waste will be picked up on Friday morning. So that makes it really convenient. Let's take a look at our gorgeous, sunny 5-day forecast. Most of the days this week, we will have areas of low clouds in the mornings, but hopefully those will burn off and give way to beautiful sunshine every day this week. Highs will reach lower 80s before cooling off into the low 70s for the weekend. So take advantage of it while we can. Sunrise this morning was at 6:28 a.m., 6:30 a.m., Sunset will be at 7:16. This photo of beautiful Winston was sent to us by Indigo Brood. Thank you, Indigo and Winston, for posing for our photos. If you'd like to send us your photos, your pets, your gardens, your whatever you love, please email those to us at lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. Please send us your name, where the photo was taken from, and in a horizontal format, please. Next up, we've got a couple of meetings to tell you about, and then after the break, Pacific Financial Planners. Stay with us.
And we absolutely love you, Matt King, as a friend and as the greatest comedy magician, at least alive today, maybe you ever lived.
Laguna Woods Village Performing Arts Center presents The Matt King Comedy Magic Show, Saturday, May 3rd at 7:30 p.m. at the Performing Arts Center.
Power your adventures with the all-electric 2024 Subaru Solterra. It comes with legendary Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive, standard, plus a rugged 8.3 inches of ground clearance. Everything about the Subaru Solterra is advanced, including the technology keeping you and your passengers safe. Love is now electric.
Hi, it's Desiree from Irvine Subaru. Get your new Subaru here with complimentary maintenance included.
Seniors fear running out of money more than death itself, and the number one mistake you can make is underestimating volatility, which can derail your retirement. For 35 years now, I've coached seniors to financial independence by using two simple rules: never take big losses and create income along the way. It's your financial future. Call now to get a free risk analysis to ensure your investments are protected, and we'll send you our Safer Money System, 949-219-0692.
And welcome back to the show. I know a lot of people are concerned regarding the market, but we have Jerry Schlitzwitz here with Pacific Financial Planners who's going to put your mind at ease. Hi, Jerry.
How's it going, Bree?
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Has your phone been ringing off the hook?
Off the hook. My phone doesn't really ring because we're pretty conservative at Pacific Financial, but this has a lot of people concerned.
Why?
Well, because, it's kind of, I think I said it last month on the program, Everything All at Once, whatever that name of that movie is, that's what's going on. And there's a lot of moving parts. And in this case, the president decided to take on the world trade in a very public manner all at once. And some of it might be a little overkill, so to speak. And, while some of it might be very necessary, there's ways to go about things. And with the very public Liberation Day, I think there was quite a bit of pushback and quite a bit of concern. And when you're talking about trade, and we are the consumer of world's goods, that does mean our prices are going to go up, which is inflationary, which is exactly what we're trying to get away from. And there's a readjustment of valuations for companies. So we saw the market drop 20% in literally a few weeks now. We're 6 weeks off of the peak, and it's a 20% decline. I've been doing this 38 years. I pay for a lot of research, and I'm reading this research that I pay good money with my experience on, and they're saying, we've never seen anything like this. We've never seen anything like this. And I'm going, I've never seen it either. So unless you've been more conservatively based, you could be down 20 to 30% in your portfolios, and that's obviously no one likes to lose that kind of money. I mean, if you've got $1 million, you're talking down $200, $300, or $1,000 or more for some people that are more aggressive. Not our clients, but they don't know, so they're calling us.
Do you feel like, this is a temporary thing that we're going through only to revise the entire system to come out stronger on the other side?
Obviously we hope that that's what happens. Obviously I can't get in the mind of our current president, but some of this is definitely overkill. Some of it, the calculations are clearly wrong. Is the concept right? The concept is good overall. Has America been unfairly treated by certain countries? My brother, I've said this before, I think on this program, it was the guy shipping the jobs to China. And so this started in the 90s, and they did take advantage of us. If you wanted to, build a manufacturing facility and not use Chinese, equipment, and you had to bring something from America, they demanded the blueprints to it. So if an IBM computer had to go in there, they wanted to see the IBM computer, which is how they went from 30th in the world in terms of technological to second in the world. Because whether they actually stole it or actually were giving it because they demanded it, they got it, and they were able to reverse engineer it and move up the chain. They also, unfairly priced their money. So there is a lot of shenanigans going on, and, I think we let it go on too long. Again, it's the methodology that we're doing it as opposed to the fact that we're doing it. I think some of it needs to be done.
Right, agreed.
But should it be temporary? We can hope that it's temporary. Obviously, the market readjusted 20% already. That's a significant move. Okay, so, some of it's factored in. Today, the markets are up. But, the key is that not everybody went through this. I mean, I remember, I've avoided big drops like, 2000 and 2000 to 2003, including 9/11. Why? Because we have a defensive way of approaching. We have a more conservative. My clients are our viewers, but not all of our viewers listen, and some of our viewers think they want to do things their way, and those are the ones who are going to be suffering. But if they listen to some of the strategies we laid out, which is have some no-risk investments, have a plan for your investments, as opposed to just a collection of investments, you're not hurting too bad. I mean, most of our clients are doing pretty good, actually.
So why do you think that some investors struggle with their investments? Let's bring it home. Let's bring it to Laguna Woods Village here.
Well, a lot of people, just like I said, the comprehensive plan. What is it you're trying to achieve? Look, when you're 40 years old or 30 years old, you want to have your 401k and grow your money. But once you retire, You've got what you've got. You've retired. You don't have an income to grow your money anymore. You should switch more to an income model, a safe model, something that's paying you regularly. Because companies that pay you along the way aren't as risky as, let's say, like the Nvidias and the risky stuff like the Googles and Apples along the way. I think part of it is they lack education, because there is no education on finance. There truly isn't. Not, unless you say, okay, I want to specialize in this. But if you want to become a doctor, a lawyer, a business person, a teacher, whatever it is that your profession was, you're really not getting that. So you got to turn to somebody, and sometimes it's the media. Well, the media is not helping you. The media is selling, Chevrolets and hot dogs. They really are. I mean, those shows out there, like Kramer and all that. I've met Jim a few times and stuff like that. His right-hand woman was a handler for me when I wrote for TheStreet.com. And it's Stephanie Link, and she's on all these shows now as well. But, they don't understand products, and that's a lot of it. They don't understand. They say, okay, well, I use blue chip stocks. I don't know how many times I've heard that. Well, I'm not risky. I use blue chip stocks like, Procter and Gamble and Kraft and, ExxonMobil. Well, you're on the riskiest type of investments, but you're on the most conservative of riskiest. But there's a whole plethora of things that have, from zero risk to some risk that they just have no idea about, and they avoid those because they just don't know. I mean, one of the biggest things is self-education. Get a second opinion. You're concerned, don't go back to the same person who put you in there, and you can stay with the person, but get someone else to look at your portfolio and say, hey, are you taking too much risk? Right. And then you can take that information and go back to your person and say, hey, I think I'm taking too much risk, and they might have some ammunition to talk to them about.
Right. So talk to us about investment annuities. What are the misconceptions?
Well, that's the thing, is people have misconception about all kinds of things like annuities. And they heard something. I heard annuities are bad. And then they just believe they're bad. Look, annuities are your pension. Anyone who has a pension, that's what an annuity is. You win the lottery, you know what you're getting? You're getting an annuity to pay you out. It can pay lifetime income. And it can also protect your money. If you don't need the income, you can have it reinvest and grow with tax advantage. Now, not all annuities are great. There are some annuities that are expensive. There are some annuities, but it's just like, there are certain cars that, maybe, at 75 years old, you shouldn't be buying a Ferrari and driving, because it's a little too fast and a little too risky. Maybe there's a more appropriate vehicle for you for your age. It's the same thing with investments. Bonds, the same way. Bonds can't lose money. Bonds go up when stocks go down. I don't know how many times I hear that. It's like, no, bonds go down when interest rates go up. It has nothing to do with the stock market. And if you have a bond mutual fund, can you lose money? Of course you can. So, a lot of people unknowingly, they expose themselves to too much risk.
Mm-hmm. Well, they can come see you at the Financial Forum Club.
Yeah, we're going
to try to mitigate those risks.
Thursday,
right?
Clubhouse 7, this week, Thursday, 3 to 5 p.m. Look, if you have questions, you can come in there. We're going to discuss, product knowledge. We're going to discuss investments. We'll take any questions. If you just want to observe and learn, you don't have to sign in. You don't have to participate. Yeah, but if you want to ask questions, it's a safe forum with other people of levels of sophistication from none to very sophisticated people in the community. That's why we call it the forum. And it's, like I said, this week, Thursday, Clubhouse 7, 3 to 5.
Okay. It was discussing smart investing for seniors.
Absolutely. Probably talk a lot about the markets and talk about these product misconceptions that we were just mentioning, Bree.
Right. Jerry, always such a pleasure.
I thought I was going to avoid bullets in here, but
Yeah, well, we got to keep it tame around here.
Okay, thank you.
Nice to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you for the information, and I know that you offer such valuable services, so I just encourage all of our viewers to go to the forum, learn more, and it takes the fear out of it, right? It takes the anxiety out of watching these sudden changes that we're witnessing now.
Yeah, and this was more sudden than most things because of the way it was presented. But do I think things will be fine? I do, but I think most people need to reevaluate their portfolio. When things go down, let's say we're down 20%, you need a 25% return to break even. If you had 100 grand and now you have 80, that 80's got to produce 20 grand, which is 25%. So not losing is super important.
All right. On that note, go see Jerry, Pacific Financial Planners. Coming up next, we have the old pros. Stay with us.
Hi, welcome to Pacific Financial Planners. We focus on income replacement for your retirement. We have over 3 decades of professional money management experience. We personalize a plan that's right for you and your family. You only get one shot at retirement. Don't you think you better get it right? So give us a call for your free consultation. We can do this over the phone, via Zoom, or in person.
Welcome to LA Carpet, Kitchen, Bath, and more. Your all-in-one solution for your home remodeling needs.
From kitchens to baths, carpets to hardwood, we help shape every corner of your home.
Every home has a unique story. At LA Carpet, we collaborate with you, ensuring your story unfolds just the way you envision, with complete price transparency from start to finish. Contact us today for a complimentary in-home estimate. Your dream home is just one phone call away.
Do you or your loved ones want to continue living at home safely, but are starting to see signs of Parkinson's, dementia, Alzheimer's? Maybe it's recent strokes or falls. Having a caregiver at home can be the best way to keep you in home safely. Home Helpers has been providing caregivers for over 25 years. Call us today or join us at Laguna Cafe for free pie and coffee, and we'll answer your questions about caregiving. It's the first Tuesday of every month at 10 a.m., and space goes quickly, so RSVP now.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. We go from financial planning to a night at the theater. Here to tell us all about their auditions, play auditions, we welcome Barbara Torino and Paul Lampert to the show.
Good morning.
How are you two?
Good. We're just fine.
Doing great.
Thank you for having
You
us.
come with all smiles because you are putting on an amazing production. But first, let's tell our viewers, what is Old Pros? What do you guys focus on?
Old Pros is a group of people who either were in show business at one time in their careers or wanted to be, and are now using the opportunity in retirement to live out all of their wonderful experiences of being on stage.
I love it. That's fantastic. Yeah. Get a second chance.
Yes, and we have a meeting every month, and there is a play or skits or music or some sort of performance at each monthly meeting. Okay. So it's not, every 3 months or every 6 months, it's every month.
Keep the momentum going.
That's right. Yes. And auditions is about auditioning and what the process of auditions has on the people auditioning, and how they are become similar to the characters they're auditioning.
I bet you can actually learn a little bit more about performance by auditioning for auditions.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. It gives you kind of a peek into what goes on in the audition process from the viewpoint of the actor, and also from the viewpoint of, we have a director, an assistant director, and a producer, all participating in the audition. So kind of like a show within a show.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, how many characters make up the whole audition? Is it
Well, there are 4 actors. So we have actors playing actors who are auditioning by being other characters.
that may become a little brain
A
twist.
little bit. So it's actually there's 4 actors who are coming to audition
Right.
for a director, assistant director, and they're asked to do a scene from plays that are very familiar: Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, Long Day's Journey into Night, and Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. So, for instance, in Virginia Woolf, we play husband and wife. So it's our characters who are now playing Bill and Martha from Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. So it's kind of, that's where I say the play within the play.
Right, yeah, no, that makes sense.
So,
Yeah.
Very
So it's a
challenging.
great experience on a couple of different levels, and hopefully the audience on April 23rd, that's right, April 23rd. The doors open at 6:30, and the play starts at 7, and it's $5 for guests, and we have complimentary hors d'oeuvres and free wine. And so the motto is, come for the wine, stay for the show.
Right, and that's at Clubhouse 7.
That's correct.
At 7.
yes. And admission is free for members.
For members.
Yes.
Right. And $5 for guests. So you'll break even with 1 glass of wine. Or half a glass of wine at this point.
So is the club actively seeking members?
Oh, absolutely.
Always.
Absolutely. So if this reaches folks who have been actors or always wanted to be actors, then they should come down and join the club, come see a show, and then audition for other shows.
So they don't really need to have any prior experience. It's just
No.
a passion and a love for theater.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
They bring that with them, the
Exactly.
rest will fall into place, right?
Right,
Yeah.
and they will audition, and the best people will be chosen. So I can't guarantee, that if you stumble on stage for an audition, that you'll
Sure.
always get picked. But we have a lot of regulars and a lot of new people, and including someone like Barbara, who doesn't live here. She lives in another community.
Is that right?
Yes, they're very welcoming here. I've been acting for many, many years, and when I moved, the first thing I say is, where is the theater? So I participate wherever the theater is, and when I first moved here, they said, there's Laguna Woods, and they have lots of theater groups, and I think the first show that I auditioned for was with the Old Pros. So, and I loved it, and they do,
just
because
took you
the
right
Old
on
Pros
in.
does something every month.
Yeah.
So there's always an opportunity. And there's many
fantastic.
opportunities. Paul actually wrote this play.
Did you? I was wondering what the origins were.
Yes, originally it was just going to be people using those speeches from those plays, but the more that I got into it and the more that I received feedback from other people, that I began to see that there were themes running through, one of which, to give away a secret, is that in almost every piece where people are auditioning, and in every couple, they're lying.
Oh my goodness. That's a little bit of a cliffhanger there.
Yeah.
All right, well, we may need you to hang on to that and pick it up next time you're on the show. All
Thank you.
right, folks. Clubhouse 7 p.m. Wednesday, April 23rd. Old Pros bring to you auditions.
Thank
We'll be
you.
right back after these messages.
As we get older, sometimes we need a little extra care. We can stay independent and in our own homes with the right care. Care to eat our favorite meal. Care to look our best. Care to stay active. Care to look after our pets. Find personalized in-home care at AmericareBeachCities.com.
We promise to meet you with an open heart and curious mind. To never have the answers before we've heard your story. Because you are not everyone else, and healthcare is not one size fits all. Highest performing hospital, top ranked physicians, 50 convenient locations, right here in Orange County. You, empowered by Hoag.
What would it feel like to hear better? Many people are trapped in the isolation of poor hearing and don't realize it. Even people that are wearing other hearing aids. They only know the way they hear, not how much better they could be hearing. We've taken patients that were hearing 24% of conversations and improved them to 92%. A life-changing difference. Put on these hearing aids and hear better, automatically. No buttons to push or technology to fear. Artificial intelligence and these products do all the work. Don't settle for less. And remember, tell them Stuart sent you.
Well, welcome back to the show, everyone. Let's take another look at this week's glorious, sunny, almost summer weather. Today's high is going to be about 80. Well, let's drop it back. I got a little ahead of myself. Tomorrow's high is going to be 80. You guys ought to know by now how much I absolutely love warm weather and sunshine. So we'll be peaking up on Thursday, Friday up to 82s before we drop back down to the low to mid 70s over the weekend. So if you want to play golf or pickleball or any of those wonderful sports that we all love to do around here, do it the next 3 days because it's going to be gorgeous. Tomorrow on this day, we will have the Boys and Girls Club of Laguna Beach here and the Democratic Club. So we'll get updates from both of those clubs. And that is going to do it for today's episode of This Day. From all of us here, we wish yours a beautiful one. Thanks for joining us.